Hello everyone, this is Mike and
Zoe.
well done, you know your own name. And we're here for episode 4, I think. Hopefully I haven't lost count. And so let's see where we left off last time. When you press forward and backward, the car should move forward more or less in a decent curve.
And backwards.
Yeah. Oh, we've removed the little squaries, right? There. It looks
Go
okay.
backwards. There.
Right, we fixed it going backwards too, more or less. Yeah, so it's going more or less in the correct direction. Yeah, well, there are a few bumps, but we may look into fixing that. I wonder if we increase the angle here to 20. Oh no, it's not going to work because it's in start. So let's do it like this. Hit 20, then hit play. And let's see if now we get slightly better curves. Oh, we got a really, really harsh turn here. Because this one is perceived as being straight. No, I think it was better before. Anyway, enough wasting time. So give it a save, please. So yes, what we're going to do today is we're going to actually get more than one movement be controlled by the game. I'm not sure that's a great idea. Now you're all in the way of the cables. Let me move you left. There. There, that's good. Okay, so sorry, my daughter was moving sideways. Right, so what are we going to do? Yes, we are going to start doing more movements than just one. So let's go to the game manager. And there's a lovely Visual Studio loading. Okay, hit Control MO. Boring. Thanks. Okay, so where are our movements? I think they're in update. There they are. Okay, move tile, and then there's our direction, etc. Right? Now we want to figure out to move many tiles. Okay, so let's construct another one here, and make it just as the others, but with the space key for now. No, banana.
Oh, sorry.
She pressed the space key.
That was silly.
A little bit.
Input dot get key down.
Yep.
Key code. Space. I think I skipped a bracket.
You did. Need to add one more and hit space just to be consistent. Okay, now save. So here what we're gonna do is just call the same player motor move toward and go to the second one where it says get tile blah blah blah.
Okay.
Second one. That one. Take all of that. Take the entire line and paste it into a space. Okay, so now we're gonna use exactly the same for space, but this time around we're gonna randomize the amount. So give it a save. Okay, now create an int in your variables, but give yourself room. Hit enter twice. Yeah, and make it private for now. So call it private int. Let's call this one die roll. Semicolon. Okay, now copy die roll. Ooh.
Not the whole line, just
the variable. Okay, paste it before your player motor move toward when you press space. When you press space.
Ah.
Yeah, hit enter there. Yeah, but you forgot this.
Yeah.
Okay, equals. We're gonna randomize it.
Okay.
So we said our game should have 2 dice, right? So how much is the smallest possible result you can get with 2 dice?
2 dice? Well, you can get 2.
So random dot range. Go ahead. Not there. Potato. In die roll equals. There. Oh, there's my 1-year-old. Hi, Andrew.
We're recording.
We're working on this. You gotta go now, okay? Close the door after you, okay? Bye-bye. Bye.
Random range.
Okay, random range. Now you said that the minimum amount is 2, right?
Mm-hmm.
So put a 2.
So 2.
And what's the maximum possible you can roll with a die?
12.
12. Wrong. Why is it wrong?
Well, 0.
Not exactly, but I mean yes, but no. So random range is top exclusive. What does this
What does
mean?
that mean?
It ignores the top. So
Oh.
whatever you give it as a top value, that
It'll
one
go
will never
on
be
down.
reached.
Oh, then 13.
Yeah. That's better. Now close.
Done.
Semicolon, obviously. Okay, so here we go. We got the die roll. Now indent this one by 1. Here. Okay, save. Okay, so now we got the die roll, but we need to feed it somehow to our tile. Okay, so let's see here what we got. So here it says player motor, move toward, get tile, bloody 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 blah. Right? Now that's not awesome because apparently we need to feed a tile to move toward. So let's go to player motor and take a look. Hit Control MO. Thanks. Okay, so move toward needs a tile, and that's because that's how we assign it to the next tile. We are going to change that a little bit. We're going to change that quite a bit, actually. So instead of having int direction, right, we're gonna call this one int. Let's call it die roll. So hit Control R twice. Control R, not Shift R. Undo, 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 undo. Stop breaking things. Control R twice. Yes. And now start typing die roll. Die roll. Yeah, hit enter. So that's how we change the variable everywhere, right? And we're going to remove this tile.
Bye-bye.
Yeah, hit delete. Now we're gonna get errors. We're gonna remove this next tile too. Save. Okay, everything is going crazy now, right? So we have all of these moves and it's breaking. So let's go back to here and figure out why it's breaking. So this get tile over here, which is found here, all right? So to get the tile, apparently we need direction and the tile we're currently on. Right, so we obviously basically would need a whole list of tiles that we need to go through. Or simply we get the tile every time we reach the end. And I think that's what we should do. So in order for us to do that, what we're gonna do is we're gonna make this one public. Okay, so just put the word public in front of the word tile. You're already there. Yeah, just type public space. Okay, and you need the direction, that's fine, and the tile T, that's fine too. But here we got problems, and this get tile is completely bonkers now, so we don't need it at all. So it's going away, this one goes away, and this one goes away too. Now here, what are we gonna feed it? Not one, but our die roll. So feed it die roll. There it is. Okay, save. So now we're gonna feed it a quantity as opposed to feeding it a direction, which is just fine because we could feed it a negative quantity too. If there's a malus of some kind, say for example, you lost 6 positions or something, right? Right, so let's go back to our player motor. And in our player motor, everything's fine here, it's still happy, but this guy will know nothing. So let's rename this one in execute move, hit Control R twice, and call this one moves. Hit enter. Okay, so here it checks if moves is positive or negative. We may or may not do that. Right, so we will know how many moves we need to do, and we will keep on repeating these steps for as many moves as we've got. Okay, so how do we do this? Let me think. The way we can do this is with another while loop.
Okay.
Okay, so instead of having this float passing time equals 0, let's change it to float passing time without assigning it a value, like this. I'm gonna put a semicolon there. Hit enter, and now type passing time equals. Well, x was already there. There. You hit a space, save. So this is identical to what we had before, except what we're gonna do is if you hear people crying, audience, it's because my baby in the other room is crying. That's what they do. Okay, so now let's make another while loop and go while.
While.
Open a bracket. Move.
Oh, not that bracket.
That's
this
right.
Bracket.
Moves
Moves
higher than 0.
higher than 0.
Close the bracket. That's right. Okay, and now what you're gonna do is you're gonna cut the entire other while and put it in there. No, even the passing time equals 0, even the resetting of the time, and even the current tile equals next tile. All of that. Go do.
Including this?
Everything.
But this is not in the while.
Yeah, I told you, even the passing time being reset, you need that too. Go all the way down to current tile equals next tile included. Yeah, cut that. Put it inside the while. Save. So, what do we do here? Look at the code, right? It's saying as long as moves is higher than 0, we will repeat the while itself. Okay, which is a coroutine, therefore it has time signatures, so it's going to get yielded for delta time every cycle until that loop is normally done. So as soon as passing time hits 1, then the next while triggers. Okay, so current tile equals next tile. So the first thing that we need to get at the beginning of the loop is what our next tile is going to be here. Okay, so before passing time equals 0, go up there. Yeah, go up there. Passing time equals 0. There, hit enter. Okay, and here we are going to we're gonna get that tile. So you are going to do game manager.script. Next tile equals.
Next tile.
Yeah, well, if you spell it wrong though, it's not gonna work.
Next.
Next tile equals, and you go game manager.script dot get next tile, I think it's called. No, try get tile. There it is. Get tile. Open a bracket. So you need to feed it the direction and the current tile. We've got a problem. We don't know the direction. The direction depends on the sign of moves. Is there a mathematical function that gives us the sign of something?
Well, it should be signed.
That's right. Good girl! All right. So what we're going to do is we're going to add let's add a float here. Float. And call this one move sign. And go equals. Mathf. You should know this.
Yes. Math f dot sign. Now we need to sign something.
Yep. What are we gonna sign?
Well, we need to sign the tiles.
I don't know what that means.
Wait, we do the direction.
Yes.
Sign the direction.
What from do we get the direction here? There's an obvious variable we need to use here. What's the only variable you receive from the outside?
Well,
Come on, it's not that difficult.
I don't see any variable we're receiving from the outside right now.
Oh, are you blind? I enumerator, execute moves. What's in there?
Oh, yeah.
That's the variable you receive from the outside.
What a banana. Into
Moves. Close the bracket, semicolon. Now, I think it's going to be happy even if it's an int. So we don't really care. Remember, by the way, that 0 has a positive sign, according to mathf sign. It doesn't matter to us, but at any rate. Now, do you remember what sign does exactly?
Sign will flip things to an int. So, like, if you have 0.7, it will put it to 1.
No. That's round to int, or seal to int, or floor to int.
Oh, well, then...
What does sign do? What is a sign?
A sign is like a minus or a plus.
That's right. So we need to know whether a number is positive or negative.
I think I remember now.
Okay. Explain it to our audience.
If a number is closer to -1 than to +1, then it will assign it to that number.
No, what sign does is sign simply returns either +1 or -1 depending on whether the number is positive or negative.
Oh.
Yes, it's very easy. So let's say, for example, if you say mathf sine 570, what do you get?
Well, we get 1.
That's right. And if you say mathf sine of a minus 0.00002745?
-1.
That's right. That's a simple... What if you get sine of 0?
0.
Wrong.
Oh, then 1.
That's better.
Because it's supposed to be considered positive.
Yes, it's got a positive bias, right? So 0 is positive. All right, so that's what sine does. It's nothing special. Now, the reason why we need that is because we know which direction to move, first of all, which is important. And second of all, we will also know which direction to get the tile, right? So now let's go back to where it says get tile. Put a comma and remove it. So now it tells us. So we need int direction, all right? So we need to feed it an int, which means we are going to do... actually, change this to an int.
Okay.
Let's see if that works.
Int.
Okay.
Done.
Yeah. And what we're gonna do up here, do another mathf and round to int. It's right there. Hit tab, open, and close. There. Now that does what you suggested, which is it takes -1 float and it turns into -1 int. And if you got, say, -1.2 float, it would turn it into -1 int. It gets the closest int. Okay? So now we've got this lovely int and we can send it as a direction. So type it there. Move sign. Comma. And it needs a tile. The current tile.
Yeah.
Close. Semicolon. All right. So now we made it so that our coroutine, every time it does a cycle, it looks for a new next tile to go to. Okay? Which is great. Then it does its entire part here. Now here we have a problem. It says if moves is higher than 0. And I don't think we should look for that. We should look for if move sign is higher than 0. So type move sign here. So if our sign is higher than 0, then we'll go forward. If our sign is lower than 0, then we'll go backward. And here we would be done, and we therefore assign the next tile to the current tile, which means we've completed the movement, which is fine. Now, what are we going to do? Right here, we're going to do something else. We are now going to change the quantity of moves that are left to do.
Okay.
Okay? Now, wait a moment. That's not that easy. Because up there, it says, while moves is higher than 0. And that's not exactly right. Because moves could be negative. Right? So... do we have a mathematical function that changes the number, any number, into the positive version of itself?
I don't think so.
Oh, yes, we do.
Then what?
Starts with A.
Abs, I think.
Absolute, that's right. Absolutely correct. So go to your while moves is higher than 0, double click it. Moves is higher than 0. Double click it. And now start typing mathf.
Here?
Yeah, mathf.
Math.
Moves. So if the absolute value of moves is higher than 0, then we'll do certain things, which is awesome. And here on moves, we need to either, wait a moment, we need to either decrease it or increase it. So the way we'll do it is exactly like this. We're going to say moves equals math sign. So move sign. You already have it. So move sign times math d. That's a new dimension. Mathf dot abs of moves -1 No, that was correct. Yeah, sorry, I should have mentioned. Close the absolute, -1. Now I'll explain it to you. Put a semicolon. By the way, this is incorrect, and we'll see why. Okay? I'll explain soon. So look at that function over there. What does it, that little formula, what does it do? So it tells us that moves is going to be equal to something. Now, before we do, let's make an example. Let's say that we send execute move 5 moves forward. Okay? So it does the entire thing and it moves by 1 tile. Right? Now we get to the end and it says moves, which is currently 5, is going to be equal to what? Move sign.
Nothing.
Okay, so wait a moment. Read that. Don't make guesses.
Move
right?
sign.
So move sign. What value is move sign?
Move sign. We said it was gonna be 5.
Therefore,
so it's 1.
That's right. So it's 1 times anything, which means it's gonna be anything, right? And now we take the absolute value of moves. How much is the absolute value of moves at this time?
Well, it's anything.
No.
But
well, what did we send it?
We send it 5.
That's right. So absolute of 5 is 5.
It's 5.
-1 is?
-1 is 4.
Okay, so this means that after this cycle, we're going to have another 4 moves to do.
So that will make 9 moves instead of 5.
No, because it does 1 at a time.
Oh.
Each cycle is 1 move.
Oh.
Yeah. Okay.
I thought you read the cycle of 5 whole moves, and then you would still have 4 more.
No, at least the way our code is written, you do 1 move, one move at a time, and then you decrease the count of moves. Now, why did I do it so difficult as opposed to simply saying moves -?
Why?
Well, suppose, for example, that the player has a malus, and that malus is -4. So we send execute moves -4. What is move sign in that case?
Move sign is -1.
That's right. So let's look at the formula. It's going to be -1 times, okay, which means that whatever's on the other side is going to be negative, right? Now, mathf absolute of moves, it was -4, so what's the absolute?
So it's now -4.
No.
No, wait, +4.
Yes. Okay, so +4 -1 makes 3.
That's 3.
But we did put a negative in front of it, so?
So -3.
-3.
And it will do -3 instead of -4.
Well, no, it will keep on going down now. Right? But if you did -, it wouldn't work because -4 - is?
It's 3.
No.
Yeah.
How much is -4 -1?
-1, oh yeah. -1 is -5.
That's better. Right? So that's why we need to do all of this malarkey with absolutes and everything like that. But there's still a mistake in there. And it's a mistake that you often are confused by in your calculation when we do math together.
Oh.
Okay? Let's look at the operations there. You have an addition or a minus, right?
Yeah.
And you have a multiplication. Which of those is solved first?
The multiplication.
That's right. So let's redo it with the -4 in mind. So we have -1 times the absolute of -4, which is 4. So that gives us -4. And then we do the subtraction. So -4 -1 makes?
-5.
Which is a problem.
Which is a
It
problem.
means our moves are going up as opposed to down. Right? Okay, so what do we need to do? How do we fix this? How do we force the subtraction to happen before the multiplication?
Well, I remember that we used to do it, but I don't remember how we did it.
Well, think about it. It's fairly logical. All you need to do is close this guy in brackets. Right? Now, whatever is inside those brackets need to be solved before the stuff that the multiplication itself. So the order of operations doesn't matter.
Oh.
Well, I mean,
okay.
You haven't understood?
Why do we need to put brackets?
Because when you put the brackets, whatever is inside them is treated as a single element, and it needs to be solved before it's then other operations are applied to it.
Okay.
You still don't understand.
Why is it? I still don't understand why it's put first now.
Oh dear.
The brackets.
I'm very surprised you don't understand this after years of math that we've done together. I'm a bad teacher. So anything we've talked about sacks back in the day. Now we can't turn this particular code lesson into a math lesson. Our audience will be bored to tears about the stupidity of this problem. But the deal is when you put something in a sack and you multiply something by that sack, it's the entire sack that gets multiplied. It doesn't matter what's inside it. You could have multiplications, divisions, sums, whatever in there. It would still all be enclosed in the sack. That's what the brackets do.
Multiplied.
Yeah, that's what the brackets do, right? So that multiplication, instead of applying only to math abs moves, right, which is what used to be the case before,
is now
multiplying everything. So let's redo that example in our heads. So move sign of -4 is -1, we said, right? Which is going to multiply something. Let's see what that something is. It's the absolute value of -4, which is?
Which is +4.
+4. And +4 minus 1 makes?
3.
And -1 multiplied by 3 makes?
-3.
That's right. Therefore, even if we have a negative number of moves, the number still went down. The absolute number. Therefore, our loop is going to work correctly. Because remember that our loop will only keep on working until we have moves to do. Okay? All right, perfect. So this should already work, I reckon. I think. I hope. Save, please. So before we check if it's working, what we're going to do is we're going to give ourselves a debug log, okay? So after this player motor move toward, hit enter and go debug log. Die roll. So we want to know what number we got so we can check that it was correct. All right. So let's go and test it out in game. Play. Okay, now wait a moment. Now hit space. Hit it. Hey, that's cool. We got 5 moves and the car moved. How many? Let's count them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That worked. Hit space again.
8. We got 8.
I'm just looking at if the car is moving fairly nicely. Let's do it again.
Whee.
Okay, and again. It's moving a bit weirdly in a few places, but it's not too bad.
Bye-bye.
12. You got a 12. Well done. Look at it.
Now it's 10.
No, I'm just staring at the car. Hit play again. Not bad. One more. Whee. Vroom, vroom, vroom. All right. Okay, so let's increase its speed a little bit because this is boring. All right. Let's make it a little bit more crazy. Give it a shot.
Haha! I'm moving.
Okay, this should also make our bumps, our bounces less visible.
Whoa! Did you see that?
I did. Hit play one more time. One more. Yeah, look at it go. Nice. You almost can't tell that those bounces are there.
Except over there, we saw the bounces.
It wasn't too bad.
I saw it.
It's alright. It's just because it's sliding around because of all of the side G's.
The highest one we got is 12.
Well, yeah, because it's the Maximus potato.
Yeah.
Maximum. Oh, you ended up exactly on the start. All right, stop. Good. So we've implemented this. We got another half hour. So let's figure this out.
Another half hour?
Yeah.
What do you mean we got another half hour?
Well, we've done a half hour.
We've done a half hour of code.
Yes.
Yeah.
Did you want to do 2 days?
No.
I'm down with that, but you're probably tired. Okay, so that works, and our debug is telling us correct things, so it's all believable. It's all very nice. Perfect. So we can remove that debug. Goodbye, Mr. Debug.
See ya.
Save. Okay, so now all of this is very, very, very test-like. And we should probably start thinking about setting up a second player or something along those lines. And I wonder also if our players should start outside. I think that would probably be cool. So that the first step needs to be on the start line. Right? Because we've got a problem. Our tiles, the way they're set up, they don't allow for many cars to be there.
Oh.
Well, think about it, right? Imagine having 4 players. You would have all of the 4 cars inside one another, and that's not cool.
You're right.
That would look silly. So what we should do is we should probably put some kind of start position here. Right? Right here, I would say 1, 2, 3, 4, and then the first one, second one, third one, and fourth one go, something like that.
But we can't have them all on top.
That's
of
true.
here.
We can't. So what we're going to do is let's go to our models and create a new model. We're gonna make a very, very simple one. By the way, there's another thing. Wait, there's another thing that really does bother me, which is I don't like the shade, the fact that we've put a fade shader, so we have it half transparent, because the shadow of the car isn't visible on the little panels, and that bothers me. So let's go and select the panels, select the tile floor, change it from fade to opaque. Okay, and now the shadow will be visible. Of course, they will be slightly uglier. So let's go and select the darker gray, so they look a little bit like a road. Maybe we could even add a
metallic.
Sure.
We can add a metallic on the car.
Well, sure, we'll worry about that later. But what we can add on the road is we can probably add little lines, so it looks like an actual road, right? But we'll worry about that later. For now, let's just leave it to this sort of dark color. Even though that also is not going to help us see the shadow, so let's put like a semi-dark gray, something like this. Okay, awesome. And also I'll change the alpha to maximum just for my peace of mind. All right, so now go to the car racing model and double click it. We're gonna open Blender.
Where our little...
And of course Blender's on the other screen.
Sorry, people, audience.
All right, now see, let's see the whole scene from up top. So press 7. Okay, now A to unselect all, and tab to go to object mode. So let's see what the situation is here. So the car is here, and what is here? There's the board. Okay, and this is our tile.
And our car.
Right, so we can leave everything here. What we're gonna do is we're going to add a similar tile like this one, only we're gonna make it a rectangle, so it works for our starting tile. So hit Shift A to add a... Wait, before you do, hit Shift C to put the cursor in the middle. Shift A, Mesh, Plane. Okay, now Tab to go into edit mode. X to resize on the x-axis. Just go down. Yeah, more. Stop, too much. Less. There. Now SY.
What are we making?
The tile for the start that the car is gonna be sitting on. So it's gonna be a square tile. Okay, no, you wanna go higher. Look at the size of the car. It needs to be surrounding the car. So keep on going down. More. Okay, click. Perfect. Okay, now what we're gonna do is we're gonna add borders. All right. So this may be somewhat complicated. So we're gonna mirror it. So hit Control R and click right away. Yeah, click and hit Escape. Now do it the same but vertically. And Escape. Okay. Now A to select all. Choose the vertex selection here. Yeah. Now A to unselect all. Sorry, my bad. B to box select the bottom row. And B to box select the rightmost row.
Okay.
Those, yeah. Delete vertices.
Okay.
Hit the delete key. V. Okay. Now you want to go to your wrench icon over there. In add modifier, go mirror.
Mirror.
Tick the Y.
Tick the Y.
Tick clipping.
Tick clipping.
Okay. Now, okay. So hold Alt and right click to select the leftmost side. Yeah. Press E to extrude. X to stay on the x-axis. Hold Control. Go left. One more time. Okay, click. Okay, now do the top two, not all of not the whole row, just the top. Actually, no, the whole row. My bad. So hold Alt and right click the top line. No, not the vertex. Yeah, there. Yeah, but you need to hold Alt. There. Extrude. Y. Y.
I have trouble finding the keys sometimes.
Hold control. Go up. You're not holding control. Up. 1, 2, 3. Whoa.
That was 4.
Click it. Okay. Now, what we need to do now is we need to add some kind of bevel. So the way we're going to do it is you put 2 loop cuts horizontally and then 2 loop cuts vertically.
Okay, so...
No, undo.
No,
Escape.
No.
Escape. Control R.
Control R.
Yes. You want 2 horizontal loop cuts there. So move the mouse roll up. Mouse wheel up. Mouse wheel up.
I'm going.
No, you're not. The mouse wheel is here, not there.
I can't
Okay, now
see
click
the
it.
mouse.
Escape. Okay, do the same on the for the other border. Control R. Move the mouse wheel up. Click it. Escape. All right. So now we need to choose the ones we need. Stay as you are. Stay as you are. And no, stay as you are. Undo. Stop pressing buttons. One more less. Okay. Okay, now what you want to do is you want to unselect the top 2 vertices. So hold Shift and right click those 2 vertices. Now keep on holding Shift and select these 4 vertices here. Yeah, that one, and the ones on the left. That one and that one. Okay. Now press 1 to go to side view or front view. No, the other one.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, and with this one, hold Control and move up on the Z axis. Hold Shift as well. One more. Click. Okay, now pan around. Yeah, okay. Now let's go Z to exit wireframe mode.
What a mess.
That's fine. There's just stuff overlapping one another. So we need exactly the same materials as the tile. So, okay, stay in this view, just like this. Hit Tab. Okay, now go to your materials here, this little sphere. Hit plus twice. Now the first one, now click this, yeah, and now select core. All right, and the second one, click that again. No. This, yeah, select border. All right, now you go tab again. No, that won't work. You need to be here. Okay, now let's see. Select the innermost ring of these 4. But
isn't it already selected?
No, you're selecting the border top. Don't pan, please. Okay,
sorry.
That's fine. Hit A to unselect. Select these 3.
Okay.
So, yeah, that one. Yeah, right click.
So this guy.
Hold Shift.
Shift.
Right click.
This guy.
And this one.
Shift.
Yeah.
This guy.
And now go mark seam over here.
Mark this.
Now go to face selection. Okay, and hit the letter L while your mouse is over there. L. Because you've marked the seam, now you can region select based on the seams. Okay, now we need to assign the border to that. So hit assign. Assign. Okay, now back here on with the mouse. There. Now our border is green and our center is red. That's what we want. Okay, so now let's give this one a name. Instead of plain, expand it. Yeah, double click that and call it start tile. Hit enter and now give it the same name on the mesh. And hit enter. Okie doke. So now let's go back to Unity. Did you save, by the way? Now you did.
Now I did.
Go back to Unity. Okay, now it's gonna think for a bit. Cool. Now expand the board again, your board object. And add an empty object. No, add an empty object. Create empty. And rename this one Start Tiles. Now let's see these. Okay, they're numbered. Sounds good. Duplicate tiles 0. Duplicate this. And let's drag this one into Start Tiles. rename it to 0. Duplicate it 3 times. Rename it to 1, 2, and 3. Okay, so we got all of these tiles, but they're all exactly there. So you're gonna do this, I'm not gonna do it for you, right? Move them so they're about here.
But don't they need to be connected to these?
No, well, not necessarily, I don't think so. So the movement to move them to...
I'm gonna go with 1 first.
Okay, I'm not sure why you want to go with 1 first, considering 0 is the first one, but okay.
Oh yeah, I forgot about 0.
Just leave it there, it's fine. Doesn't matter, you need space for all 4. But maybe first we should change their... yeah, let's change their... Wait, before you do this.
You want me to grab the green cube instead?
Yes, but I also don't want you to do that yet. I want you to expand all 4 of them. Select all of those 4 models by hitting Control. Yeah. And change the mesh from tile to start tile. It's on the other screen, fellas.
It's on the other screen.
Whoop.
So here you go.
There we go. So hit start tile. All right. Now it's... Wait a moment.
It's flipped, I think.
It may be flipped. Wait. No. I think I know what's going on.
It's in the thing?
The center is inside the board and it's Z fighting.
Oh, yeah.
And it's also the materials are flipped. So we're gonna do the flipperoo over here too. Okay. So the way I think you do it is by simply doing this, and it should already work. See, I've flipped them there on the panel. And what we need to do is we need to move the center panel just a little bit. So we're gonna go to edit mode, select this one, and now we're gonna check how we did it on our this. So let's see, its position on the Z-axis is 0.02. Copy. Okay, and now hit tab. Nope. Hit tab. Hit tab. I can't see. Okay, now here, paste. All right, save. So now the center is a little wee bit higher and the materials are swapped and it still didn't work. So the material swapping doesn't seem to work that way.
But the green stuff appeared.
Yeah, I know, but so that's one problem solved, but I'm still not happy that the materials are swapped compared to these tiles. This bothers me. So what we're going to do instead is so apparently just moving this up and down doesn't change anything. Okay, hit tab for me. Actually, my bad, hit tab again and hit Z so I can see. Okay, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to remove the core material. Hit tab first. Now I'm going to remove the core material. Save.
Save.
Okay, now let's see what it'll do. Okay, so it's now all core. Okay, now instead of core, we are going to, let's remove this material too. Now we're going to add a material and name this one core. Save. And let's see if now it's happier. No, because it's not important to materials. So, let's see this. So this one has border first and then core.
We haven't selected import materials in Blender.
That's fine. I'm just repeating exactly what we have on the other side. Hit tab. Hit tab. Save. We don't need to import materials, not that way. I'm just trying to get them to be in the same order, and I don't think I'll be able to. That's silly. We're just gonna have to bear with the fact that Unity has a mind of its own in terms of the order in which it imports the materials. So we need to have a tile border start here and tile floor here, right? So they're like this instead. Okay. Anyway, so now all of them are done. That's fine. Now let's put the camera here up top. And here's what you want to do. You want to move them. Undo. Thanks. So you want to move each tile like so. Whoop. All right. And then maybe we can rotate it on the Z-axis a little bit. Whoop, my bad. Undo. The Y-axis, of course, I meant. Oh, and my bad, undo. What in the world? Oh, my bad, undo. I think we've got a gimbal log problems. So hit E. We want to rotate like this.
Mm-hmm.
See, and now it's rotating over like all sorts of axes. Okay, sure. Well, we'll
even not Z-axis.
Hit W again. We'll fix it in a second. Okay, so over here, hit E. Okay, hit W. Okay. And yeah, so I'm not super happy about this. I want more angle. So hit E. Okay. And like this. And like this. And like this. Okay. Now hit W. I'm gonna put it right here. Still W, it's fine. Over here. Over here. And over here. Hit E for me. W. Okay, so there we go. So they're more or less in a decent spot. I'm going to there. So that way we're gonna put the cars here in the beginning, and then when they start, we're gonna whoever takes the turn first, we're going to linearly lerp it to the start line. Although it's not ideal.
I forgot his name, but the French guy's curve.
Bezier?
Yeah.
Yeah, we could do a Bezier curve too. I'm not 100% sure how we would go about doing it intelligently at the moment, at least. So maybe we're simply gonna teleport the car on the start line. I don't know. We'll decide later. Point being, we're going to start there before we roll the die.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? That's so we have more than one player.
Okay.
Okay? So let's rename this car from car to player. Yeah. And let's see if we can apply. And let's see if now our prefab is going to be called player. No. Rename the prefab to player. We can, let's leave the CP for now in case we need it later. The board's fine, but I think we need to apply it because we made some changes. Okay, and these tiles, they should all have the same colors as the cars are going to have, right? So each of the players needs to have a color. So the player is going to need the new script that is in the player motor. The player motor just moves the player about. We want some kind of player attributes or something, right? We are actually going to call that script player. So go ahead and create a new script and call it player. No, you need to just create a new script. Create script player.
Let's see if this one has an icon.
I don't think so. Okay, now drag the player script to the player object.
There.
Yeah, and now click on your player object. Make sure that the player is above the player motor. So drag the player above the player motor. Hit continue and now hit apply. Okay, now go to Visual Studio and reload the solution so it's happy. Now let's go back to Unity. No, yes, no. Yes, go back to Unity and open the player script.
Okay, Unity.
Double click player. Okay, delete everything here. Just with the exception, of course, of the class. Just clear it all. If we need start functions, we'll use them later. Okay, so the first thing, we are going to need attributes for the player. Like it's going to need an ID, it's going to need a color. Maybe the color is directly tied to the ID. Just use your trousers to clean that booger.
It's not a booger, but anyway.
What is it?
It's a thing.
What does that mean?
That I found right here.
Oh. So apparently we have ugly human things. Yeah, just drop it or whatever. It's fine. We've got carpet. Nobody will notice. But don't tell mommy I said this. And don't tell mommy this is on the internet. Right. Okay, hit enter twice. So the first thing we're gonna need is a public int. We're gonna call this one ID. Now wait a moment. Sure, just finish. ID semicolon. Now wait a moment. I'd ask you to put 2 enters just so you had a little bit of room up and a little bit of room down, like this. Okay, save. So we're definitely gonna need an ID, right? In order to know whose turn it is and what color the player is supposed to be when it's set up, and all of these nice things. Okay. What else is the player going to need? The player is going to need a link to the mesh renderer of the model. So let's go private mesh renderer MR.
Mesh render. Mesh.
Renderer. Yeah, MR. Semicolon. Now I don't think we will need rigid bodies or anything like that. We're not doing any work with physics, so we might as well not have them. There's no particular purpose why we should.
Do we need to assign anything?
We're gonna need to assign things, yes, but it's gonna have to be a public void because the game manager is gonna make these decisions. Public void, and you're gonna call this one setup with a capital S. Setup. Not exactly, and plus you need to close a squiggly, not a square. And setup needs an int ID. You can't. You can't use exactly the same. I mean, you probably can, but you shouldn't. Don't use exactly the same name as the other ID. Put lowercase or something. Save. I know you like to put the letters ID uppercase in your variables, but I don't. I think it's inconsistent. So, because I'm the daddy, you're gonna call this car ID. So add the letters car in front. There.
Then we can call this an ID.
No, you can leave that one ID. It's fine. It's fine. I mean, if it badly bothers you, then sure, call it something.
Well, I'm gonna be consistent with myself and put it there.
All right. Save.
Because I usually put IDs capital.
Yeah, it's still wrong. I mean, in the sense that sure, I understand that they're right, but then why is MR lowercase? MR is also an abbreviation of mesh renderer.
You're right.
No, you should leave variables always start with a lowercase. So let's leave it that way. Save. Okay, so set up and now simply assign ID to car ID. Exactly the other way around.
Oh.
Of course. This means that you're going to give a value to the variable you've received. This makes no sense. Car ID equals ID. And we also need to assign the MR. So let's go and take a look how the structure of the car is. So it's player. Inside player there's a model. That's where it is. There's the mesh renderer. Okay? So you need to go and find model first. So you go MR equals, and I'm going to let you do this.
So
first you need to find the model.
So maybe mesh get component.
No. You need to find the model first.
Then we need to use the find function.
Yes, which is a member of what class?
The transforms.
Therefore, you need to reach the transform first.
Dot find. Did you open this bracket or do you open this bracket?
Functions. Have you ever opened a type bracket for a function? I don't think so.
Now we need this. And what's it called?
You go find it.
Let's see. Model.
Model.
Model. Model.
And now?
Now we need dot get component. With this type bracket. Isn't get component a function too, though?
Yes, but you need to explain to it what component you want. So as you can see here, it says T. That indicates it's looking for data type. So yeah, you are correct, but you're still not opening the function. When you open the function, it's right there. Right? So find, it only finds one type of thing. So for instance, if you hit space here, see, it tells you I need a string and nothing else. I can't. What I will find is a guaranteed transform. Right? You see, it's a transform.find. So it will find the transform, whatever it is. Whereas getComponent doesn't know what it will find. It'll find a component, but a component doesn't know its system.type. Okay, so feed it the type you need. We'll pretend that didn't happen.
Best ran.
It's alright, people. 8-year-olds aren't completely formed in their brain yet.
Sorry.
Semicolon. Somebody's gonna send someone for child abuse or something just because I'm making fun of you online. You're gonna be scarred for life.
Probably that was a lie.
Probably that was a lie. Who knows? Who knows? Okay, listen. It's 8. I think we can probably stop here. Yeah, I mean, we've done a little bit of progress. Save here.
Okay.
So let's give another demo of what we've done. This time we're gonna maximize on play, so we see it in full.
Maximize on play.
All right. The excitement here is extreme. All right. So if you use the arrows, they still work to move by 1.
Hello.
Everything's fine. Now hit space to roll a die. I don't know what we rolled, but it looks like a 2.
That was almost nothing.
4, 5, 6. 6, I guess. Okay, 1, 2,
2,
3,
3, 4, 5.
5. That's it.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Our little
7.
car is a little bit weird there in that
1,
corner,
2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
It's working. We could also make
1,
it
2,
accelerate
3, 4.
You're all excited by your car moving. Yeah.
Yeah,
so
but it's kind of hard to count the spaces in a straight line.
I know,
1,
we're gonna
2,
need
3,
some
4,
UI
5,
elements that
6,
tell us.
7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Oh, 10, get 12. 1, 2.
We're just
1,
gonna.
2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9.
Welcome to children, people. You can't get them to stop.
Sorry.
That's all right. So, what was I saying? Right. We are going to add a UI element that tells us what we rolled anyway. Plus, we still need to code in the dice and everything like that, which we're gonna severely rip off from our other projects where we made the dice.
Yes, and by the way, what about the green part here? Will we remove that?
Well, we still need some kind of starting point, and that's good that it's the start indicator, so I think that's just fine. So
the first one that rolls will go tuk.
Yeah.
Oh, but what if one overlaps it?
Well, that's the deal. When you take turns on the first turn, it's not possible to overlap.
Oh, yes, it's not possible to do one.
That's right. And what we're going to do is we're going to make it so that whenever a car hits the other or overtakes the other car flies back. We're going to do like a super cool animation where we make the car just get bumped and fly in the air and then fall back by 1 tile. And if there's another car there in the back, then it will have to fall further. It will fall further.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, cool. Yeah, that'd be cool. You could make the other one fall back too. That'd be silly. Well, I don't think that... Well, no.
Or maybe we could make do some kind of counterattack.
Wait a second. That can't happen. That can't happen because if you overtake a car that's right behind another car, that car in and of itself gets hit backwards first. So there shouldn't be any overlaps. Well, anyway, we'll worry about other overlaps in future if there are any. But for now, whenever there is an overtake, whoever gets overtaken loses 1 position, and the overtaker gains some points. Or something, right?
Even though it's not the overtaker's fault that he gets to go forward.
Well, obviously.
His die just rolled it.
Well, that's what happens. Welcome to the world of luck.
Welcome to the world of luck.
All right, good. Enough rambling. Thanks very much for watching, whoever is, and we'll see you next time. Bye!
See ya!